Alright, I was thinking we'd do a walkthrough slash tutorial solve for the QiYi Clover Plus or 4-leaf Clover Plus. I forgot to mention, I really like this stand. It's got these little grooves that really hold the puzzle in place, and I've had a lot of fun with this. I highly recommend it. I think it's a great puzzle. First things first, I'm going to scramble it. So I'm assuming that you know how to solve a 2x2 and have solved a Curvy copter. So when scrambling it, I like to make some 2x2 moves, some copter moves. Try to get all the colors separated if possible. In that corner. So when I was first solving this, I went about it a really hard way. I was trying to reduce the edges and immediately put it into a 2x2 solved state. You know, except for the petals. And then I found out that it's much easier to reduce the corners. And one second, I'll show you what I mean. Yeah. So here's a 2x2. And so I reduced the corners, and I use this as like a reference to know like what colors go where, what color each of the corners are. And I'm going to continue scrambling this. I think it's pretty well scrambled for that, and then start doing some jumbling moves. And just really and the puzzle turns really well. Like I can't give enough praise for this puzzle. It's very replayable. Doesn't take any complex algorithms or memorization, which is great. It's a very intuitive solve. See, I keep trying to turn this edge when it's blocked from in there. So I'll call that good. And first step is to get it back to its cubic shape. And what I like to do is, let's try to unbandage some stuff here if we can do that. Yeah. Okay. This is a good place for me to show you some things. I like it when there's two pieces that are sticking up like this. And to solve that, you know, you just put one of them in place. I can't demonstrate that. I need to be able to move that. So let me put that there. Anyway, so what I was saying is if there's two in place like that, you put one down and flat, put an adjacent side up, then this other one moves into place, and then it moves down. So, like these two right here. Put that down, that up, this one right here, then that goes in its place, and that goes flat. And I'm just gonna do that so that these two are pointed up right next to each other. And simple move like that. And that returns it to cubic shape. And so that's the scramble and return it to cubic shape. Okay, for this next part, we're going to reduce the corners here so that it's 2 by 2. Be sure you know your color scheme. I recorded a segment earlier and I just totally messed it up. Alright, I like to start with white. Let's start around this edge piece right here. It's white and red. So we're going to put a white and green here and a red and green here. So let's find a white and green. Here's a white and green, and you can just manipulate the corners around and do simple orienting techniques to do that, and then you turn it into place. And so now that we have these two, let's find a green and red. The green and red, because one of them won't fit. Alright, see this one won't fit because once it's turned it won't fit in there properly. So we have to find the other red and green, and it's right down here. Oops. There we go. Okay, so this corner's been reduced, as you could tell. It matches this corner right here. So since we're here, let's just reduce this corner right next to it. And this is going to be the one that's going to have blue on this side. So we're going to look for the other white blue piece and we're going to put it right here. It's down here, okay. There we go. Alright, now we just find the blue red and put it right here. So we're going to put it next to it so we can swing it into place. And perfect. Just like that. So now we've reduced two corners. So let's just move on next to it. Here we go, the red blue. This is going to be blue and yellow right here, because you know yellow's across from white. So let's find the blue yellow right there, and that's the right one because when we flip it, it matches. And up here we need the yellow red. So let's see here, maybe it's over here. Yeah, it's over here. Alright, so we're gonna, that's not the right yellow red though. We need this one back here. There we go. Now we can turn that in. Alright, now we've reduced three corners. We'll just continue from here. I usually like to do like the white ones first, but I'm kind of going for like red right now, which is fine. So this next one's gonna be red and green, which is here. Which is fine, we can just hold the cube like this, and we could see that this is going to be red and yellow. It's going to match this little corner here. It's It's going to be red and yellow, green and yellow. So let's find the red and yellow. Aha. Alright, now let's just find the green and yellow. Right here. It's not the right green and yellow, I can tell. So let's find the other green and yellow. There we go. Alright, so that corner's been reduced. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 corners that have been reduced. And these all had a had red in common. And you could move these around to be sure that you solved it correctly. Let's see here. Yeah, these two would need to swap. Yeah, there you go. So you'll start to see the 2x2 coming together, except for the petals. And so now everything else is going to have orange in it. So let's start right here. It doesn't matter where you start, but I like to use this 2x2 as a reference again, just because I'm not super, I don't always remember the color scheme. We're going to be making this corner right here blue, orange, and white. So we want a blue and a white one to be here. And here's a blue-white one. And that goes in. And now we're going to want an orange-white one to go here. So I can tell if this piece, you know, was pointed and it was like right up here, that wouldn't fit. So I'm going to find the other orange-white, which is back here. There we go. Alright, so that corner is reduced. Let's find some more. We're doing everything with orange right now. So here's an orange yellow. Yeah, with blue. So that's already in the correct spot. So, and I'm matching this corner piece right here. We could put an orange blue right there, and then that one's done. Let's see, orange blue. We don't want that one because we're already using that. We want this one right here. So just manipulate the cube around until you get it across from it, and then that piece is reduced. We should reduce this one. It's got an orange white. And it looks like we want orange green and green white. So let's put a white green right here. And it's going to be this one. I can tell it'll fit right there. So I'm just going to move it around until I can get it across. There we go. And see, you'll notice like towards the end here we start placing the other ones, and that's convenient too. Okay, so right here we need a green orange. We need this one because that one obviously doesn't fit. So that was convenient. Alright, and by doing that, I think we automatically reduce the last corner too. Let's solve it as a 2x2. I'm going to start with orange on the bottom because it's already together. I'm going to orient so red is on the top here. And hopefully you know how to solve a 2x2 because it looks like these two need to swap. So let me see if I remember that. R, U, R, U, I, R, U, I, D, R, U, I, R, U, R. Alright, so that worked. So there we have the reduced 2x2. I think it's possible you can get to a case where you have one corner that's not twisted right. So I'll set that up and come right back. Okay, so you reduced it to a 2x2, except one corner is twisted, and you can't orient it and get it all into a 2x2 shape. So what needs to happen is this piece needs to go here, this piece needs to go here, and this piece needs to go here. I hope you found this tutorial so far to be pretty intuitive. It's a fun puzzle. It's not very difficult, and I like it. So I'm gonna put this white and blue one up here. So first, I'm gonna turn it out of the way. And now, let's see, let me find a good way to do this. Let's see here. Yeah, so I want this to be down here. So, I think I'll go back here like that. Yeah. And then, yeah, now it's there. Alright. Now I'm going to put this one here. Yeah, and so I just manipulate the cube. Okay, and now I'm going to put it back and swap it. Put this. Okay, and so that moved those pieces around. Let's resolve the 2x2. Let's see if we can so again, we need to swap these. Alright, so now we've fully reduced it, the 2x2 portion of the solve. And from here, we're not going to do any more 2x2 moves. Okay, I'm pretty bored, so I thought I'd finish this tutorial. This is after we've completed the 2x2 portion of the solve. And the next part of the solve is just a curvy copter solve, minus the corners on a curvy copter. So if you want to just find a different curvy copter tutorial, that's fine. Yeah, so I like to start with white, and I noticed that this white piece is in the same orbit as this orange piece, and so I'm going to place it here. But what I'm going to do first is move it out of the way, just so that I can preserve the orientation of these edges, just like that. So here's a white piece that is in orbit with this, which is in orbit with this. So I'll put this in place here and put the white piece in. Okay, let's look for some other white pieces. Here's one that's in this orbit, so I'll move it out of the way and put it in place. And here's our other white piece. So we'll notice that this doesn't easily come right over here. And this is where it takes a little bit of thinking, a little bit of intuition. So we can move it around and we see that no matter where we put it, we can't really find an orbit that it goes in. So it's out of its orbit. So we need to put it into a different orbit. We need to put it into an orbit that this piece is in. So if we follow that orbit, we have here and here. Let's see. Let's just do. I'll just demonstrate how to change the orbit of a piece, and I'm going to swap it with this piece. So they're opposite each other. I just put that up and this down. Alternately, you could put this here and this here and switch them like that. And now those pieces have switched orbits. Let's see if we're any closer to it. And we're not really any closer, because you can see we have two white pieces in the same orbit, and that's not helpful. So what we need to do is we need to switch the orbit again. I don't have a very efficient and straightforward way to do this, so bear with me as I kind of figure this out as we go along. Here we go. I need to switch these two pieces so that the white one will be in its correct orbit. So since these are next to each other, I can put both of these sides down, and now I can flip these two pieces. It can flip their orbits. So I'll put them like this so that they can switch like that. Okay, so now this should be in the correct orbit, and it is. See, it'll go here. So again, I'm preserving the edges, so I put that there. Alright, so one side is done. Let's move on to another side. Let's see. I kind of start with the bottom and filling in these ones. So let's try a blue. Let's put this blue one here. I'm going to move it out of the way. Alright, there we go. So that's in. And as you can see, this piece will eventually need to be swapped, because you can't have two colors in the same orbit like that. So, and you can't have two colors in the same orbit right here. So since these need to swap, we'll just go ahead and just do that now. And that worked out perfect, because it goes right there. And here's an orange one that goes here. So I'm going to put it out of the way, put it in place, and it goes down right like that. Let's see, where's our other orange one? Here's a couple. Let's move it around. And as you can see, these two are the same color in the same orbit, so that'll need to swap. I have an easy way to put this here, and that's by putting this piece up so that they're now opposite each other. And so I can easily swap those by putting one here and one here. This is a pretty basic technique. Okay, let's get that other blue one here. And we can do that. That's here, because if you follow that orbit, there's a blue one here. So I'll just put that here. So now we have white, blue, orange on the bottom. Let's go for green on the bottom here. Let's see. Aha. That goes there, so put it out of the way. Alright. Let's try to get another green one down here. I like to kind of work from the bottom up. You don't have to do that. You can find your own way. Aha. So, if we follow this orbit to here, here's a green one. Alright. Now red on the bottom. Now during this, don't make any 2x2 moves. Obviously, you don't want to mess up what you've already got. What I'm going to do is I'm going to switch these two pieces so that this red one will be here, because when I look around, there's already a red one in this orbit right here. So it's okay if I take this out of the orbit, and I want to switch it with this. So what I'll do is, when I have two next to each other, I put them so they're opposite each other. And then I do that move to switch them. And now I need to kind of replace what I'm doing. Since I started with white, I like to put the white back. And I noticed that, let me see here. Yeah, the blue goes back. And so I have one more red piece to put on the bottom, and some others got solved too, which is convenient. So, where's that red piece? It's here. Let's move it around. Aha! It's in the correct orbit. Fantastic. Alright, so the bottom half of the puzzle's done. That's great. We're moving right along here. This stage is easy to get kind of stuck on and confused if you lose your perspective. But, alright. Let's see. Here's a green one. That'll go right here. I'm going to move it out of the way just to preserve those edges. Gets kind of tricky towards the end here. Let's see. Here's a green one. Needs to go here. So this is where it gets a little tricky. What I'm going to do is I want this green one in this orbit. So I can follow this orbit to here, to here. Okay, that's not really helpful. How about all right, let's just look at another color for now. The answer may come easier later. Let's see about putting this orange one into place. Aha. We need this orange one to go here, and so I notice that if I do this, these two are opposite each other. So I can simply do that jumbling move to switch their orbits. Now, those oranges are in place. For now, let's not worry about the orientation of this because there is a way to fix that. So earlier I was talking about preserving these edges. It's not absolutely necessary. I kind of like to do it until I get to the end. Okay, these two blue pieces are in the same orbit, so one of those will need to switch. And for example, these two yellow ones are in the same orbit, so we need a blue and a yellow that need to switch orbits. And these two are right next to each other, which is really convenient because we can put them opposite each other and then do that jumbling move. And again, I really like this puzzle because it's fairly straightforward and it's a great way to, you know, waste a few minutes, and it's really enjoyable and it turns really well. Alright, so we switched an orbit with a blue one and a yellow one. I'm going to go ahead and place pieces when I can, when it's kind of straightforward. Like I'm going to put this green one here, so first I'll put it in place, and that matches up the yellow, which is great. And once I match the green up, and then this comes back, then the orange is matched up too. And so that's really nice. And you'll see that this is solved too. This edge needs to flip, and I'll show you that very soon. We need to switch this blue one and this green one. Let's see. Let's look at the kind of move stuff around here. Alright, I think what I'll do, alright, I'm going to, I'm going to switch these two pieces and see what happens, since we need to switch a blue and a green, rather than sit here in silence and have nothing to give you guys. I'm just gonna start moving stuff around. So there we go. Alright, so I made a mess, but let's put things back together here. Okay, the red's put back together. Let's put this orange back in here. All right. Perfect. Now we're in a situation that I easily recognize. These two need to switch. So let's go ahead and do that. I implore you, as you solve this puzzle, to find a easy and efficient way for every situation. This is pretty straightforward now. This is kind of like a 3 cycle. I'll put this yellow. Alright, last thing. If you need to flip one of these edges, you just do that jumbling move. We're going to turn the right side up, left front side down like this. We're going to swap the red and the, the green and the blue pieces. And we're going to do it again, except this time, put the left upper side up and the front right side down. And swap them again. And you'll notice that flipped that edge. And you might have to do that a couple times. But that's it. I hope this tutorial helps. It's a great puzzle. So thanks for watching.